Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for another challenge over at the Jaded Blossom blog. And this time it's a sketch challenge. This is a sketch that you're supposed to use, and you need to just use one other Jaded Blossom product and come and play along. You can link your project up on the Jaded Blossom blog. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's mini tag dies 2, along with our harvest sign, the revamped one. The Gnome dies Fall Add Ons, our Scalloped square dies, and our Stitch square dies. I'm also using the pad Doodlebug's Pumpkin Spice and the Gingham Linen Rainbow Petite Prints in 6-inch. So I went ahead first of all and I created a 4.25-inch square card, 4.25 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. Gives you an A2 sized, well, a square A2 sized card. It'll fit in an A2 sized envelope that's made out of dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray ink. And then this paper is from that pumpkin spice pad from Doodlebug. It's cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. Now this is Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock cut at 4 inches square. And I'm going to pop that on the inside of my card base using HEG tape. And there we go. So it just gives a nice framed, spot to write on. And this is all in normal time. I didn't speed it up at all. So now I'm adding a 1-inch strip of pattern paper from that pumpkin spice pad from Doodlebug, and I will cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. So as for in regards to our challenge, we have a challenge over at the Jaded Blossom blog once a month. This month is the sketch challenge. You can link up your project up until September 3rd. That is the Saturday before our next challenge. Our next challenge will start on September the 4th, which is a Sunday. So it's usually the first Sunday of every month. And as long as you have one item from Jaded Blossom on that project, you can link it up, just follow the rules, and you may win yourself a stamp set from Jaded Blossom of your choice. So there we go. So now I cut out a 2-inch square of pattern paper from that same pad using the Stitch square dies. And then I cut Neenah Solar White paper 1/8 of an inch larger, so 2 1/8 inches square. And I'm just going to line that up using my HEG tape again. And then I cut the scallop squares roughly 2.5 inches square. And I'm just going to layer those all up. And remember, when you follow a sketch, it doesn't have to be exactly. Now I kept pretty true to sketch, but you don't have to. You can take whatever elements you want to take and use your creativity. So there we go. Now that's a Teflon bone folder. You need that in your stash. So now, as per usual, I'm working on a Stampin' Up! Pad, and I'm just going to get things going. So this right here is Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock that I cut with a tag from our mini tags dies 2. And what I did is I cut out the normal size of this, and then I slid it down and lined up the grooves and then ran it through again just to cut off the edge a little bit, so it's a little bit shorter, so it fits this thankful sentiment better. So that thankful is from Jaded Blossom's Harvest Signs, the revamp. It's great, and I will be stamping that using my Misty with VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaves ink. And there we go, just using a Misty. Remember, a Misty's your good friend. I'm just using that, see-through tape. It's like highlighter tape to tape it in place. There we go. And then that's it. So I'm also using the frame of this sentiment is also from the mini tag dies too. So what I did is I cut out that at the normal size, and then I made the white little tag just slightly shorter so it looks like more of a frame when you layer them together. So it was just kind of what I was going for. There we go. And like I said, all my die cutting today was done with my Gemini machine. That's what I always use. So I've got a reverse pair of tweezers there, and I've got some art glitter glue in this little bottle from Amazon. It's a cheapo. There we go. Just a refillable bottle. And you'll see that it kind of, because I made this white tag a little bit smaller doing that selective die cutting, it makes it look like it's framed all the way around, right? That's what I was kind of going for. There we go. I'm just trying to make sure it's all straight. And then there you go. So this is roughly the speed that I craft at. Remember though that I did do all my die cutting ahead of time. So that does, shave off some time when you're creating. So now I am going to stick down this scallop square, trying to get it into the center upper the center upper part of this card. I'm just trying to follow that sketch as, as close as I can, but not exactly, right? And then we will get this in place. There we are. And I was just sort of using my grid mat to kind of line up that little square. And you'll see it does take me a while to figure this stuff out. I'm not as quick as you think. Remember, editing, you can fast forward stuff and, makes you look like you're faster than you are. But, trust me, I'm not that fast. There we go. I just needed to make sure my glue was running. Now I'm going to use my reverse tweezers and just try and line it up on this card base. There we go. And I do actually, after I stick this sentiment down, I do go back and peel up that square and get it straight. I didn't leave it in the video, but I did. It was kind of off. So now I'm going to put together my little dies that I cut using the Gnome Dies Fall Add Ons. So all the pattern papers are from those pads that I mentioned, either the Pumpkin Spice or the Rainbow Petite Prints, the 6-inch pads. There we go. So the little topper, the little stem to that pumpkin was cut out of that Paper Tray Ink dark chocolate cardstock. And then I'm just going to decide what I'm going to do here with it. There we go. I have a little leaf cut out. The inking around the edge was done with Distress ink and crushed olive. I did ink around the pumpkin also in spiced marmalade. All of the leaves were inked around, just so you know. So I used gathered twigs for the brown. I used fossilized amber for the yellow, spiced marmalade for the orange, and crushed olive for the green. The crushed olive wasn't an exact match, but it kind of did what I wanted it to do, to kind of define the edge a little bit, right? So now I'm going to pop up this image with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. These are the normal sized ones. And there we go. So like I said, come and play along with this challenge. It's lots of fun, and you may win a stamp set, which is also awesome. Remember, you can always go over to the Jaded Blossom blog and be inspired by all the design team members that are playing along, which is lots of fun. And remember, if you post on Instagram, tag us. If you post on Facebook, come and join Jaded Blossom's Garden of Creativity on Facebook if you haven't already. Lots of inspiration there. And make sure to share what you make. We'd love to see it. Social media it can be a bad thing, but it can also be a great thing. If you're in the crafting community, I find social media is lots of fun because I'm generally just looking at what people make, and it's kind of a happy place for me then. I'm not looking at all the negative stuff out there. So there we go. So now I'm going to pop on my little leaf. That is also from the same Gnome Dies Fall Add Ons. And now I'm going to pop up this little yellow leaf. These are all cut from the gingham linen Rainbow Petite Prints from Doodlebug. I'm just trying to decide where that extra leaf will end up. It'll end up in the lower right-hand side of that sentiment in a minute once I get things organized. And then there you go, like this. So I found this was the fastest card in the West. When Jaded Blossom has a sketch challenge, I find it just makes, for a really easy crafting because I already know what direction I'm going. Okay, so now I'm pulling out Doodlebug's Shape Sprinkles and Happy Fall. And I'm going to be using the little berries with the little faces and the little enamel dots that come in it. And I'm just using a pen blade to lift them up off the acetate sheet, and I will be popping them onto my card front. So lots of fun. And like I said, so easy. This was a really easy card. And I was really tempted to, make another gnome card, but I thought this time I'm just going to use the extras in this gnome die set and just use those to make a cute card, because why not, right? I think it's lots of fun. So there we go. I'm going to add on these two little teal ones. One's a little darker than the other, but that doesn't bother me. There we go. And then I'll be adding a few more to the front of this card just to, zhuzh it up a little bit. Make it look, like I always say, a little bit more special, right? Because it is kind of simple. I like to straddle, the image and the sentiment, trying to draw the eye, odd numbers and stuff like, the rule of 3, right? Odd numbers, and just makes it more pleasing to the eye. So that's what I'm going to do. So there we go. I just think this is a super cute little design. And like super easy, because you know what? Rosemary came up with the design for us, right? Because of the sketch challenge. So I don't know, I just find it really simple when that happens. So there we go. I'm just going to pop another one off. Get it, and you can see my, how I work. I kind of move it around until I like where it is, right? And then it makes a home on that yellow leaf. And then because I've got one on that leaf, I'm going to add one to the upper right-hand leaf. I'm going to add a little orange one. These ones have little faces, which are kind of fun, right? And then there you go. Like, I just think it turned out super easy and super cute. So now, of course, I've got to pull out my Nuvo Crystal Drops in Simply White, and I'm going to add a few dots of that. Remember, you want to keep them nice and warm and make sure your nozzle isn't clogged, and then you'll get perfectly domed little enamel dots. So I'm just going to, straddle that image, the pumpkin image on the front of my card. And then that is that. Like, so easy, right? So I'll have 5 little white dots, odd numbers, like I always say. And then I just think it, draws the eye and makes everything kind of cute. So there we go. And I'll just tap it to make sure they settle. And then there is my card. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and be inspired, and come and play along the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on all of the amazing stuff I used today. And oh, look on the inside, I did add a sentiment in there. Happy Thanksgiving from that same stamp set, Harvest Signs, the revamp from Jaded Blossom. So thank you so much. And thanks for watching, and we will see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.